Good morning, everyone. BK here, First Baptist Church in Bridge City. Listen, God just kind of gave me a random thought in a scripture yesterday evening. I just thought I'd go ahead and share it with you this morning. I don't know who may need to hear it, if anyone whatsoever, but anyhow, I just thought I'd share it. You know, one of the things I like to say is that life has a way of hitting us head on. You know, it can really take the wind out of our sails, pull the rug out from underneath us. Whatever you want to say, life isn't fair, and life is tough, and it gets right in our face, and it can really bring us down. It can hurt our spirits. It can affect us emotionally, psychologically, and it can just really become a bondage. And just the circumstances of life can just drag us down and hold us down. And you know, we trust in the Lord, and we cry out to God, and we cry out and we cry out, and then what compounds it is that we don't see a change in what's going on, and we begin to wonder if God is even hearing us, if he's even acknowledging us, and so then it just compounds this whole dark state that comes in, that's going on in our life and in our heart and in our circumstances. God led me to the passage in Exodus, and it's in Exodus chapter 2. And you know, the children of Israel had spent hundreds of years as slaves and in bondage, and the scripture just says that they were groaning, they were crying out to God, and it actually says that they groaned because of the bondage, and that word just spoke to me about how the intensity of their emotional, spiritual, psychological, and physical pain was. They groaned as they cried out to God. And you know what the scripture says? The scripture says that God heard their groaning. He remembered the promises that he had made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And it said that he looked upon them and he acknowledged them. In other words, that it was at that moment that God set in motion his plan to deliver them and to set them free. Y'all, if you belong to God, if you're a child of God, one of the things that you have are his great and precious promises. And I know that you're going through a season, or I know that we often go through a season of real darkness, and we cry out to God, and it doesn't feel like our prayers are even getting out of the room that we're sitting in. But I'm telling you that they do. I'm telling you that in due time, in God's time, he's going to hear that groan. He's going to remember his promises to us through his son, Jesus Christ, and he's going to set in motion our deliverance. I'm reminded of the time in Mark chapter 6, and I think it's about verse 48, where Jesus had sent the disciples across the lake ahead of him while he stayed back to pray, and a storm came up, and he looked out in the night, and the verse says that he saw them straining at rowing. Listen, Jesus sees you. He sees where you are. He sees your pain. He sees your struggles, and he sees your battle. And in due time, he's going to intervene because of his promises, and your deliverance is going to come. Look, maybe you're not even really a child of God. Maybe you don't belong to him. Maybe you've never given yourself over to him. Listen, then I know for sure that life can be a burden, and we just scratch through it wondering what's the point and what's the purpose of it all. And I know for sure it can drag us down and be a weight on our shoulders. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Just a random word. I don't know if you needed to hear it or not. Hope it ministered to somebody. God bless you all. Hey, if you don't have a church, I'd love to see you Sunday. Worship at 10:30, Bible study at 9:15. You're welcome here. Just come like you are, and let the Lord minister to you. Bye now.